What's up, y'all? Third video, same spot, we still here. If you haven't watched the other two videos, go check them out. They're very informative on just CBD in general and the processing and how everything works with Cured. But I wanted to do this Q&A with Joe because I get a lot of questions, and obviously I know we'd be together, so who better to ask than you? And I did a little poll in my story and checked it. So you guys had some really good questions, and some of them kind of all go together, so we're gonna kind of blend the questions. But a lot of it was kind of about CBD and THC synergistically, drug tests, like those kind of questions. So what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, and that is one of the questions that we get the most too, is can I pass a drug test? Does CBD work by itself? We do have products that have straight CBD in them, zero THC in them. You are not going to get any THC from that product. If you were being drug tested for THC, you then answer your own question. But with that said, there is trace amounts of THC in our full spectrum products. The reason that we have full spectrum products is because all the cannabinoids work synergistically. So people that ask that, does CBD work by itself? Yes, it works by itself. Does it work better with THC and other cannabinoids? Yes, because that's usually a more whole plant extract, so it's less refined, and all the cannabinoids, including all the other terpenes from the plant, which are the flavor profiles, all work synergistically. They all have medicinal benefits. So it is going to be more effective to combine cannabinoids rather than just taking straight CBD. That doesn't mean that straight CBD is not an adaptogen anymore, that it doesn't have anti-inflammatory properties. That doesn't mean that's not going to work. Now, if there is THC in a product, less than 0.3%, so say you have a 1,000 milligram bottle, that means that there's 3 milligrams in that entire bottle or less. To get high from THC, you take 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams. So
at one time.
At one time. So 3 milligrams in the whole bottle,
yeah.
Maybe. It's always less than that. It's usually less than that, a lot less than that. And so you would have to take the whole bottle to maybe even feel a little tiny bit of an effect, but actually CBD is very, it is calming, so sometimes it takes away the anxious effects, sometimes it takes away the overall effects of THC. So you might even not feel anything by drinking a whole bottle. So with that said,
definitely wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, but you're gonna be fine. If you were to drink the whole bottle, you might fall asleep, but that's like the worst thing that's gonna happen. So if you think about that, if you divide that 1,000 milligram bottle into 60 servings, so you divide 3 milligrams divided by 60, that's how many milligrams of THC you're getting per serving. That is not going to have an effect. It's not going to be showing up per se if you are just taking that amount. Now, we don't know what people are doing. So we never say if you can pass a drug test or not, because I'm not liable for what you're doing outside of taking my products. And so that's our answer. I can't tell you if you're gonna pass one or not.
We can just tell you what's in it,
yep.
And you make the educated decision on what you want to do. There are THC products.
People compare it to like poppy seeds. So just the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The exact same thing.
You're not gonna not have poppy seed, right?
Yeah.
But there is, so some people say, oh, you have to have THC, like a decent amount of it, in order for the CBD to work. And you would say that isn't true, right?
No, CBD is CBD. It's always going to have its medicinal benefits.
Now, maybe it can be enhanced, but that's also, there's pros and cons to everything. So with the full spectrum, it's such a small amount, but you are going to get kind of the best of both worlds. I take both. I take the mint in the morning and then the full spectrum at night, and I really enjoy that. So that kind of goes all together. Oh, somebody wrote, the military sent out a statement about this, and actually I know somebody who was affected by that in the Army, and we've never heard of that. Like, you cannot take CBD products. I don't know if they meant CBD and THC together. Obviously I didn't get the letter, but I find that very strange. But obviously if you were in the military and you got this, then that is completely on you. I'm very sorry if that is, but I would follow up with them and be like, hey, like, there is no THC in these products, like, there's no psychoactive properties. Like, understandably, like, they don't want psychoactive properties, but like, hey, there is none in here. So maybe just inquire with your specific people that you're dealing with, because it's really kind of strange. how long does it take for you to feel the effect? So we talked about in the first video, kind of building up like a saturation level. So and everybody's going to respond differently to this, but on average, what would you say most people?
Yeah. So it has an instantaneous calming effect. I notice that the most by taking a dropper. So we have a bunch of different edible products. A dropper underneath the tongue, sublingual, that's going to enter your system the quickest, unless you're like vaping it or smoking it. But that has an instantaneous calming effect. Now, to get the anti-inflammatory benefits, you're going to have to build up to the point that your body needs it. So there is for sure a saturation point. If you take more than that, it's not going to be more effective. If you stop taking it and take less than that, then you actually may notice that inflammation comes back. And so with that being the case, sometimes we've actually just heard people reporting they didn't notice the effects of CBD until they actually came off of it because it was very gradual.
It's funny, people don't realize when they feel good, they only realize when they feel bad.
Yeah.
So you kind of just like go through life if you're feeling good, like yeah, everything's good. And then once things start hurting, you're like, oh my God, my life is falling apart. So you might not even notice.
See, it was working.
You're like, fuck, God damn, I need to order that again. 2 weeks?
Yeah, some people report about 2 to 3 weeks,
okay.
But it also just depends on how your endocannabinoid system is when you start. So it depends on where you're at and how much your body's actually going to need. So
this was kind of a few other questions also, like, do you have withdrawal symptoms? Do you feel it when you take less? And you kind of just answered that. And do you ever need to cycle off of it, or can you take it regularly? So like Joe just mentioned, like you might not even notice it until you actually stop taking it because you just feel good and you're just not thinking about feeling bad because you feel good now. But what would you say about things like cycling it, or, you know, like should you take it forever? Like what are those kind of questions?
Yeah, you know, I think like most things that you should always cycle off of things. But with that said, I've been taking it every single day for the last 2 years, and I still notice the same effect from it every day that I take it.
It's not like caffeine, right? Yeah. It's not like, okay, I'm taking a pre-workout to go to the gym, and you're building up this huge tolerance to these like stimulants, right?
Yeah.
I look at this more as honestly like, I look at this as like my greens powder, like my protein powder. Like, hey, I'm taking micronutrients every day. I'm taking protein every day. I'm taking CBD every day. Like other things will come in and out, but I look at this as like a foundational product. So you do not need to cycle off of it.
No,
there is
we've never recommended that to anybody.
There is no tolerance buildup, which I think is what people worry about. It's like, oh, I feel really good now, but am I going to feel like shit if I like stop taking it, like, you know, forever afterwards? And it's like, no, this is not caffeine.
If you stop sleeping, you might feel, it
depends on how it helps you, because it helps everybody a little bit differently based on what your body actually needs. So yeah, I would say you can definitely take it year round. There was another really good one. Oh, well, this was a question that I just definitely need to address. As CBD is delivered via an oil, should calories be tracked, or are they pretty negligible? I get this question all the time.
I'm gonna have you answer that.
Yeah, I get this question all the time, obviously, because I'm a diet coach and I use this and I prep and things. You guys, life is way too short to track if there's like 2 grams or a gram. I don't even know how many.
It's less than a gram.
It's literally probably less than, I'm very not concerned about that, particularly because I'm taking it every single day. But also just in general, like there's certain things. Like I know some people literally measure out like spices, and it's like,
yeah, we've had those questions.
Yeah, like it's not like, I'm not talking about like barbecue sauce. Like that's obviously gonna be pretty calorie dense, but like other stuff, like should I measure like pepper blend? I'm like, no, like that, like the amount of like cortisol release that you're having from thinking about like, is there 0.5 grams of fat in here? Now, if you really want to have at it, would you say that maybe a dropper is like half a gram or a gram?
I think that per serving, I actually calculated it out one time because I was answering all the customer service emails in the very beginning. And I think it was less than a gram of fat per milliliter.
Yeah.
So 5 calories maybe?
Yeah, I would honestly not be concerned about it. And who was Joe? That was one of the questions that was funny. Oh, I know you guys are getting this all the time. When will the gel caps be back in stock?
They should be back in stock next week, but this video is
probably who knows? They should probably be out.
They're in stock when you're watching this video.
This will be out a few weeks later. I'm laughing about that because I didn't know that was a big deal, but I guess everybody's been asking, like it's been a big deal. They haven't been in. Yeah, that's what Ashley was telling me. Like everybody's been asking about it. So that's why I'm just like laughing about it. I'm like, did she write that? So here's the last one that I want to kind of cover. Have you found a good CBD? I've looked into so many that don't actually contain that much oil. So I think this is just a confusion of, again, kind of like if you see a bottle that says 1,000 milligrams and then you see like the dropper is like 15 milligrams, you're like, wait, what's going on? Like how much CBD is actually in there? We'll cover that in another video, but in case you were confused, whatever it says in the bottle for like 500, 1,000, whatever it is, like that's what is in the entire bottle. So the amount of CBD or full spectrum CBD that you're getting is going to be a small amount, and then there has to be diluted with the oils, like the other oils, the negligible non-trackable oils. And people might think, oh, is this just being diluted? But like, no, like that's actually how much that you need. I mean, it really would. We could have a bottle that had 3,000 milligrams, and then all you need is 3 drops. You know, so that doesn't really matter. You're getting the same amount, but it's simply just a matter of like, I think people would look at that and be like, oh, is that just like a filler in there? And
and it's kind of like. So we label our products hemp oil because we have to clearly define that it is from hemp. So if you say CBD oil, it is what we do sell is CBD oil, but it is from the hemp plant. So to stick to the law, that's why we call it hemp oil. Now hemp seed oil does not have cannabinoids in it. And that's something that people get confused on. What's the difference between hemp oil and hemp seed oil? Well, hemp seed oil doesn't have cannabinoids in it. Hemp oil means it's a hemp extract. That extract is cannabinoids. So some people have seen that, and actually products that are sold on Amazon just say hemp oil. And so I'd be very cognizant of that and understand and read the label to see what's actually in there. If you're seeing cannabinoids in the supplement panel, then it has the cannabinoids from the plant. If it doesn't say that, you may just be buying straight hemp seed oil.
Oh,
so that might be what they're asking, but that's something that a lot of people don't understand.
That is definitely good to know as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this series. I really hope this kind of cleared up some questions on CBD. If you have any questions for Cured specifically, they have a great customer service area, and they will answer all the questions that you need, and we really appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah, thanks guys.